Morena. My name's Danella Smorridge and I'm the acting principal this term at Cromwell Primary School. Another beautiful Central Otago day today, and I'd like to take you for a little tour around our grounds. So, why are all these areas fenced off with very little happening? I guess that's the main question that everybody's asking. A couple of important things to note about school property. The buildings are owned by the Ministry of Education, and the Board of Trustees is given a certain amount of money to help maintain those buildings. Another thing is that we don't get any funding in advance of role growth. Even though we can show that we're expecting the role to grow, we don't qualify for any extra funding for the classrooms we need until we actually have those children on our roll attending school. Let's talk about the multi-purpose building. So two main reasons why we're having delays with this build. Number one is around material shortages, and some of the things that have been planned, the materials are no longer available and we can't source them from anywhere, and finding suitable alternatives for a comparable price has been very, very difficult in the current environment. The second reason is our ever-changing Ministry of Education building requirements. So why are all these areas fenced off and ready for work, but there seems to be so little happening? Okay, we've had quite a few challenges along the way. This has not been a simple, easy, straightforward build at all. The two new classroom modern learning hub that was planned for in the admin block was meant to start at the beginning of the year, and in fact it did start. Some contractors moved in and begun demolition work, but before they opened up the floor and took the floorboards away, they had to check air safety in regard to asbestos levels. What they discovered is potential for asbestos contamination, and so the whole project ground to a big halt, and the project has been locked down ever since. We have no staff room, and those 2 classroom spaces are completely unusable. It's the outdoor area, including the car park, is blocked off, and this has been a very big, complex thing for the board and for the ministry to deal with, because there's contracts in place, there's safety of everybody needs to be paramount and is our main concern at all times. And we've had to comply with things and trying to work out how we can work through contracts that already exist, the legal sides of that, and things like the scope of the project and the costs associated with the project, now requiring asbestos dust to be removed and packaged and taken off site, has just been huge, you can imagine. We have a beautiful upgrade to the toilet facilities in the B block planned. This also is hampered by asbestos potential beneath the building. So we need to address that and get some other classrooms built so that we can get out of the block for that work to be done safely. These new bathrooms are going to be amazing. The ones that we have currently are a bit dated and ancient, and they are there from the times when this was a district high school many, many years ago. The new toilet block will be individual toilets with individual hand basins, and there'll also be a special needs toilet as well. It's going to be amazing when it's done. So I guess you would like some good news. I've got some good news. So about a month ago, the Board of Trustees voted to send all of the projects involved here that are causing all the problems, the asbestos, etc., off to Capital Works, and they will become part of one big enormous project managed by Capital Works, which means that the school doesn't need to try and find money from nowhere for the mop-up costs and any other costs associated with these extra difficulties and layers of complexity that we've ended up with. And last week I had some additional good news, and that is that we've had a ministry employed property manager appointed to oversee all of the Cromwell Primary Property projects. And so that's like a big weight off my shoulders, and also off the Board of Trustees, who have been working very, very hard for a long time to get everything going. So I'm feeling excited and very optimistic that we're on a good path now. Let's take a look at the plan for our new modern learning hub. It's designed to accommodate 4 classes. The yellow spaces shown are 2 big spaces, almost like a traditional classroom size. One of them's carpeted, the other one is vinyl flooring, and it has kitchen, sink, appliances, etc. all down one side, and then art bay, sinks and storage for art supplies all down the other. It'll be an amazing space. The big area shown in green is a big open learning space, would be ideal for 2 classes who are collaborating together. The purple spaces are breakouts. One of them is almost as large as a single cell classroom, and there's another one that has green screen in it, and there'll be a TV in there, and it'll be a really good mat space or meeting space for class groups. 2 other spaces with storage and desk facilities will be able to be used for small group teaching and learning and teacher release testing, all those kinds of things. And we've got a nice toilet area with a special needs toilet, as well as individual cubicles, and there's indoor and outdoor access for those toilets. Inside, you'll see an unusual shape in the middle. That's the amphitheatre, and I'm really excited about this. With the tiered seating, there's actually room for storage under there, and it will be a great place for performances, for some teaching activities, and also for using audiovisual materials with the big screen at the front of the amphitheatre. This view is giving you the same information but in a different way. It's kind of cool. You can kind of look down in and imagine how the space might be used. And this is a cutaway of the amphitheatre. Multi-purpose building is not owned by the Ministry of Education. It's been funded by private funders in association with our Board of Trustees, and it will be a community-owned facility, and it will be able to be a great space for events, sports, all kinds of community projects, including after-school care and the school holiday program, which will run out of there.